How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to DSP News 2nd Edition. I'm your host, GTG. Boy, where are we at today? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you guys back to September 30th of 2010. A monumental situation when Darkside Phil ended up getting laid off. And what would be considered the beginning of his online career, solidified at this point. Between the heat of the oven and the bacon grease, Darkside Phil was born. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this has kind of been a long time coming. I should have done this video a while ago, but everything happens for a reason, yeah? So this right here is the early stages of Phil Burnell stepping into his career, his job, the establishment of his business, or establishing of his business. Should be an interesting look. To be perfectly honest with you, I've kind of waited a long time to do this, so this should be good. Hopefully it's worthwhile. It's I'm pulling this from the King of Hate HD archives. As you know, I will leave the link to all the videos that I'm using and down in the description, so it's easy for you guys to find. And being laid off. Oh boy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's some theories about why Phil Burnell was laid off from the helicopter company. The same company that his father worked for, and the company that his father more likely ended up getting him into. Now, if you guys remember, you guys saw my last video, the establishment of Phil wanting to expand on his YouTube career. He had all these different ideas for skits and other things he wanted to do outside of playing video games. He was living in his own condo, i.e. living on his own. Excuse me, no parents, no nothing. I think personally what happened is the drinking. The drinking and the playing video games until the wee hours of the morning caught up to him. His attendance wasn't where it needed to be, and eventually he crashed and burned. To be honest, I think that's what happened. I think poor attendance and a poor work performance is what cut him down. But either which way, even after Phil was fired, he still, even to this day, he still holds a grudge. Like I said, that was in 2010 when he was fired. He tells us this all the time. 2019, he still holds ill will against that company. Even though that company went out of business, he's still pissed off at it. And this is one of the things that helped Phil establish, oh, I outlasted them. Oh, they shouldn't have gotten rid of me. Oh, if they didn't get rid of me, who knows if that business would have still kept going or whatnot. You know, so on and so forth. Same thing he did with Machinima, yada yada. Same thing he did with Blip TV. It's a pattern. It's a pattern, ladies and gentlemen, an established one that Phil has not deviated from. He's a creature of habit, and he'll do what he knows, to be perfectly honest with you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the video proper, and let's see what we can take out of this, and then you guys hopefully go on with the rest of your day, and you know, I'll see you guys for the next video. So let's go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's DSP here, and probably this is going to be the most honest video I've ever made. It's going to be shooting from the hip, but I'm also going to be very careful what I say, obviously for legal reasons, because of what's going on right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the King of Hate, HD archives, laid off from September 30th of 2010. Here we go.
I really don't know where I'm going to go with it. This is actually take two, because take one I really just rambled on like a fucking moron and didn't know what I wanted to say. But basically, as you know, past 2 years I've been making videos on YouTube, and this has always been my side thing. This has always been my hobby, the thing that I do for, free time, because I love video games. So I do video game playthroughs, comedy videos, game reviews, things like that. Well, bottom line is this: I went into work today and they laid me off, so I no longer have a full-time job. I'm unemployed, and this means a lot of things. Some good, some bad. I see both sides of every situation. I try to look at it and take everything with a grain of salt and understand. The thing is this, you know, it's easy to be very negative and say, oh, this is bullshit, America sucks, the economy sucks, they're laying everyone off. And I'm sure that a lot of people watching this video know someone personally, either a friend, either a loved one, a relative who's been laid off recently. Because it's happening all over the country, and to be frank, it's happening all over the world in a lot of these economies.
Now, you see how level-headed he is, at least somewhat level-headed, you know, in his thinking right now. Now, or right here, I should say, 2010. Now, think about what he sounds like now. This is why a friend of ours, Mighty D, right? Great content creator. I'll leave the link to a video he made in the description. I think it's called How DSP Has Changed. Great video that actually encapsulates a lot of this bullshit, to be honest with you, and what Phil tried to portray himself as and who he is now. And to be honest with you, there is no difference. He's playing, this is sympathy. This is the sympathy angle that he plays even to this day. I want to say it was a bit more genuine, to be honest with you, because, you know, he got fired, and you could say he didn't know what he was going to do, but mommy and daddy were still helping him, and he collected, not a pension, because he wasn't there long enough, but his dad either was able to negotiate a severance package from him, and or he also walked away with maybe some money from a 401k or something to keep him afloat while he was trying to make it on YouTube, then Blip TV, and then so on and so forth. But we'll talk about that later on as this video goes on. So yeah, something to think about. I will leave the link though to Mighty D's video down in the description too. Great video, and there's a lot to take away from it. Here we go.
And so yeah, I'm taking it as a good and bad. And here's what I say. Obviously the bad. The bad is this. I don't have a job. But the good news is this. I wasn't fired. You know what I mean? I didn't leave. So I'm actually getting a severance package that should at least take care of me for a couple of months. Hopefully through the holidays. And so that would be great. You know.
Okay, so you got a severance package. Good shit. All right. And you were fired because you said that. So, okay. So that ties some of that up.
Especially with the holidays coming up, you know, you got to be careful.
So then, wait. So then what are you mad about, dude? You walked away with a severance package. Granted, one that your father negotiated for you, I'm sure. But you walked away with a severance package. That's not too bad. You could have just been fired outright. At the end of the day, Phil Burnell was fired. He was fortunate enough, as in most situations that's at his disadvantage, to walk away with something. He ended up getting fired from the helicopter company, walked away with a severance package. Ended up getting dropped by Blip, but they still agreed to pay him for the last 2 months that he was working, which that was a good thing because he needed that money. And he was able to beg Hutch for a job over there in Machinima, and he was able to get him in. The guy's lucky. I'll definitely give him that.
With everything going on, and especially when you're out of work, you got to be careful what you spend. And so I'm thinking a lot. I'm thinking a lot about things, about what I'm doing with YouTube, about whether or not I want to go back to the kind of job that I was just in, whether I want to, now that I have the time. You know, I've always said I do my YouTube videos as a side project, as a hobby. Well, now that I have the time to do it, can I put full time, like this is a real job? Can I put 8 to 10 hours a day into it of effort and see if I can turn this into something that could be a job? Because a lot of people, let's be honest, there are people on YouTube, Nigga Higa, alright, he's the only one that I like. Oh, Shaytards too, he's good too. These people took this normal stuff that they were doing in comedy videos and stuff, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So, it's possible to do it. And is that something that I want to do? Is that what I want to go with my life? Especially being that you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it could go one way where I become popular and that works. It could go another way where I become popular, but then all of a sudden the fad dies out, and now what am I going to do for work? Or it could just be that I put all this time and effort and money into it, and it doesn't work at all. So yeah, it's.
We know which part. We know which path ended up happening for him.
big chance. It's a big gamble. One thing I do want to say, a lot of people at my job knew that I did make videos on YouTube, and a lot of people have seen this. So everyone at my job, I just want to say, well, at my former job, I just want to say, without, obviously divulging too much personal information, thank you. I enjoyed my 5 years there. All of you made it a great time, and, I'm looking at this in a positive light rather than a negative light. You don't have to worry about me. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to either, I'm going to rethink what I'm doing with my life, and we're going to go from there and see where it happens. Like I said, this is the first time I've lost a job in my life. I am going to basically brush myself off. I'm going to stand back up after getting knocked down, and I'm going to go out there and figure out what to do. And it's going to be okay. Things are going to work out. There are concerns. For example, I just moved into this condo a year ago.
Now, first thing that I think I should go ahead and speak on is the fact that he had a pretty good reason to be positive in this video. One, as he just divulged there, that people from his job do watch his videos. So him slandering the company is gonna fuck him, because they could take a severance package away from him. On top of that, his father still works there. He doesn't want any, at least I would think Phil wouldn't, but you don't know because he's a selfish bastard. But he doesn't, I would assume he wouldn't want any negativity to come on his father's part over his bullshit. So those are the two things that I would stand from that. One thing that I also want to point out, and it's a shame he didn't do it, because in truth, ladies and gentlemen, he could have done both, is go back and try to find another job in his sector, in his field. You know what I mean? He should have done that. And with the YouTube thing, he could have had the flexibility to where, okay, I can do what I'm doing here at this company and whatnot, and then I can still do the YouTube thing if he really wants to take the YouTube thing seriously and just balance his time better. Because if you look at Phil's YouTube career, if you want to call it that, there was a whole lot of wasted time there. That's the time he could have used to have a job and have a steady income coming in. What I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of it is, it's going to require effort, which is something that Phil never put into this, but he could have made a really good living for himself with twice the income. Most certainly. But then let's look at the negative aspect of it. He would have been in way more debt if he had tried to do that. To be honest, he would have been in way more debt, because Phil was spending his money almost as quickly as it was coming in. You know what I mean? And he wasn't saving any of it, really. So him having a job and doing YouTube, excuse me, would have only worked in a negative fashion for him, sadly. I feel like for anybody with some common sense, it would have been a good thing, but not for Phil. He would have just spurged his money on dumb shit, even more dumb shit than he has now. And then 10 years later, literally clawing at any deal that comes his way to try to sell it, because he has no other option.
And in America, no one has money to buy a condo or anything outright. Everyone's poor. Everyone puts everything on credit. So of course, I have a mortgage, so I'm paying a mortgage on this.
Everybody's poor in America, and everybody puts everything on credit. Oh my God, I told you, his past is a fucking gold mine. It is the roadmap to why he is the way he is now. Phil is very much a relic of 2018. He hasn't really changed much over the years. He really hasn't. Holy shit.
Right now, that's a big concern. It's a big payment every month, and in a couple of months when this severance package runs out, where am I going to get that money from? That's a major fucking concern. And I have bills, I have credit card debt, I have other things going on that, it is definitely a worry and a concern of where the money's going to come from. But what I can say is this. I thought about it already, and I think at least for the next couple of months, while I'm maybe searching for a full-time job, I might start taking YouTube seriously. I might try to figure out how to basically turn this into a job. It's a possibility, right? And it might not mean that I'm just going to do playthroughs anymore, because let's be honest, everyone knows you can't sell a playthrough. You can put it online, you might be able to get around putting ads on it, but you can't sell it. It's not a product you can sell. So whether that means that I figure out a way to turn my commentary into a product. I don't know if anyone's seen this this place called Riff Tracks before, but basically it's a bunch of the guys who used to do the Mystery Science Theater 3000 TV and movie series went ahead and now they do live commentary over new movies. And they know they can't record the movies and redistribute the movies, so they actually record their commentary during the movie and then they sell it online. And what you do is you play it while you're watching the movie as if you're watching a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode. That's something I might be able to do. The only problem with that is, think about how long a damn video game is. You know, movie's an hour and a half, video game's 10 hours. Try, you know, lining up 10 hours of audio. Not easy, not an easy thing to do. But I might branch out and try to do other videos. I know that I've had lots of ideas about things I've always wanted to do. Project 7, which has been on the back burner for almost a year now because I just don't have time to do that kind of video editing and put the effort into it that I want to. I know I mentioned before about doing maybe a wrestling series, talking about that. There's a lot of things. Oh, by the way, I'm sweating like crazy. It has nothing to do with getting laid off. It's actually, if you can believe it, it's like heavy rain outside. Like the game Heavy Rain, it's pouring outside. It's like the worst weather in a long time. And it's hilarious that this is the day when they're laying people off at my former job, that they pick this kind of weather to do it. But yeah, it is what it is. And so
what's the rain have to do with you sweating? Does your air conditioner not work? It's obviously that it's the humidity. That's what he's trying to say. I get that. But, like, I mean, like I said, is the air conditioning not on? Do you not have a fan on? What's the problem, kiddo?
Thinking about, gee, do I want to do YouTube full time?
I know you're trying to say that it's not because of the job and everything, but you're sweating bacon grease there, buddy. It looks like you're a bit nervous. And it looks like you've definitely been on the phone with mommy and daddy more than just on Sundays asking for help. It's just an assumption.
It is something that I might do, but I don't know for sure if it's going to pay off. It could end up being something that doesn't pay off, and then what's going to happen to me? I don't know. But one thing I have decided on is that at least for the next couple of months through the end of 2010, I am going to stick to most of the playthroughs that I've said in my game schedule I'm going to play. And the reason is this. When I balance, you know, the little bit of money that I do make from doing the videos, it basically breaks even. You know, and all these games that you see me playing, people say, how do you afford it? Well, remember, you know, some people give me donations, which is nice. I do make a very, very small amount of money from the stuff that I make on Cafe Press, the merchandise. And in addition to that, obviously, I have a YouTube partner channel where, you know, ads and things like that are on it, and I do make some money there. From what I've estimated, it should be enough to basically play the games that I've wanted to play, and all the major releases basically coming out for the next couple of months. So, ironically, for the viewer, this is a great thing, because I'm going to be doing videos a lot more. I mean, like right now...
Wait. Didn't Phil always tell us that he never made a cent on YouTube for the first 3 years that he did it? And you started in, what, 2008? I think? This is 2010. So what do you... But you're saying right here that you actually had a partnered YouTube channel, so you were making money off of ads. When was the ad system established to where you were able to make money? And if so, how long were you on YouTube? Because I thought, to be honest, I thought you were on YouTube or you established yourself in 2008 or 2009. But we're in 2010 right now, and you're saying that you were making money off of YouTube. Off the ads. Huh. Well, that's going to be interesting. And then, like you said, donations and whatnot, and then Cafe Press. I already knew about those. Now, ladies and gentlemen, shit may have just picked up. Shit may have picked up. But wait a second. When in your King reveal, that was in 2009. That was the last video. You also told people to click the ads. So how long has Darkside Phil been on YouTube then? Oh boy. Okay, something to look into. Something to look into. But it sounds to us like either the Darkside Phil channel or the King of Hate channel, one of them was partnered and or monetized, if not both. Oh boy, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be real good.
I'm in the middle of Dead Rising 2, and I haven't had a lot of time to play it. Now I have a lot of time to play it, and actually John Rambo's coming over very soon. We're going to start a video up, and we're going to play it together. So, game-wise and video-wise, this is great news, but life-wise, this sucks for me, being completely honest. So a couple things I want to throw out there, and by no means am I asking or begging for anything. Like I've always said, any help that anyone gives me is massively appreciated. Some ideas, first of all. I think what I'm going to do is, like I talked about a couple weeks ago, John Rainbow's back from Japan now. I think what we'll do is actually look at some of the joysticks that I have over here, and we'll look to either sign them and maybe sell them on eBay. We're going to custom mod some of them. A lot of people have seen some of these joysticks and liked them a lot. Remember the Blanca stick I made last year? Well, we're going to try to custom modify a lot of these joysticks and make them like special editions, and we're going to try to sell them. That might be a good way for us to raise.
Oh, that's right. That's when John ended up beating Phil, as well as a couple other good players, to go to Super Battle Opera as a representative of the U.S. I do remember that, actually. Okay, I do actually remember that.
Fun. In addition to that, there's going to be some other stuff I'll be doing, but more on that later. I don't want to really get into it until I really have time to think about it, because like I said, right now I'm shell-shocked. I just got home from work, from them basically sending me home, laying me off, and I'm kind of just like, in fact, I'm going to look at the length of time this video is right now, because I know I'm rambling, and I knew I was going to do that. Oh, it's only 9 minutes. That's not bad. Jeez, I've gone 25 minutes before.
God damn, got some sweaty pig titties there. I got some sweaty pig titties there. Holy shit.
Forgive me, because like I said, I have so many thoughts and things going through my head right now that, you know, some negative stuff, obviously, because when you have something like this happen, you have negative feelings about yourself and how you were thought of by your management. But at the same time, a lot of stuff happened that kind of led up to this. That really wasn't...
I told you. It wasn't like they just laid you off and shit. You probably had poor work performance, poor attendance. There was a reason why they ended up firing you. A good reason. Now, in 2017, 18, and 19, he's been spending that shit. But back in 2010, you knew why you got fired. You knew why you got fired. Now, let's talk a little bit about what he was saying about the donations and how any help that he gets is appreciated, this, that, and third. That's just, it doesn't even mean anything now, because he regurgitates that all the fucking time, but he almost tries to shame the people in his fan base to give him money. If you guys want me to keep doing this, if I can keep, you know, keep my business running and so on and so forth. Yet again, you're seeing the establishment of all of these things moving forward. Fucking A. It's fucking awesome.
And anyone's control. There's just kind of a lot of stuff going on. So again, I don't want to get too much into it, but wow. I'm just like, I'm tongue-tied, because there's so many people right now who are going through this. It's not just me, you know. Everyone, like I said, has a friend or a loved one or someone who's probably been laid off. You know someone, and it's like, wow. For me, I can actually say I actually feel better off than the majority of people who are getting in this situation right now, because at least I have a side project going on for me. I have this thing on YouTube going on. You know, I have dedicated fans who support me, and let me just tell you this, because this is the honest truth from the heart. You know, there's some days when I wake up and I feel like shit, and not just, you know, physically, but mentally. You know, I beat myself up some days about things that have happened, maybe at work, maybe something in my personal life, maybe my performance in a game. And then I go online and I see thousands of people basically saying, Phil, thank you so much. You're a great person for what you do. You're funny. You're entertaining. You seem like a genuinely nice guy. And that helps. It really does. It's kind of like having an extra support system on top of my family and my friends. And it is amazing. And I'm wondering...
Well, it was as a crutch. Alright, so here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This also right here goes to the establishment of Phil's ego and his arrogance. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he wasn't a pompous piece of shit before this. What I'm saying is that he used his fan base and all the accolades and everything that they showered onto him as a crutch. That crutch eventually evolved into a shield, which eventually evolved into literally a suit of armor, and he just muscled through it after that. If he was a bit more humble, especially when the money started to really come in, things may have turned out slightly different for him later on. But he wasn't. He was an absolutely ignorant and arrogant pompous. And that's the reason why he's where he's at. So for a lot of people who say, oh, I don't understand why the detractor trolls and haters fuck with him. I don't understand this. I don't understand that. Oh, he's just a piece of shit. He's just an asshole. He's just really bad at games. They don't know, and I don't blame them, because I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to go back and look all this bullshit up either. But I'm already kind of knee deep in it, so it is what it is. But they don't know. They weren't around for it, or they haven't seen the detractor videos that go over stuff like that. And there are detractor videos out there for this. Don't get it twisted. But they haven't been exposed to that. You just see the day-to-day shit, and that's it. A lot of people look at detractors and be like, you guys have no lives and shit. Look at you guys fucking harassing this one guy. He never did shit to y'all. But when you go back and look, it's like, oh, that kind of does make a little bit more sense. You know what I mean? Because I've had arguments with people like this on Twitter in my DMs about this. And then people like G Money come through on the clutch. Other people too. A bunch of people. Raven has come through on the clutch and sent me links. I shoot it over to these people and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. It's amazing how a couple minutes can change things up. But like I said, you can't jump on those individuals because they don't know. They just don't. It's kind of like the facade that's going around Boogie. You know, everybody's like, oh, Boogie's just a weak person. Oh, he's a really nice guy, yada, yada, yada. You go back into Boogie's past and know there ain't a goddamn thing nice about Boogie at all. That shit's all a fucking facade. Hence the reason why Phil DeFranco ended up using him. And Boogie never really turned back over on him. Never turned back over onto him. Because Boogie knows that Phil DeFranco knows about his past. And he didn't want that shit getting drummed up. Not that to say that Philly D would do it, but it's an option. So there you go on that.
You know, maybe this is the age where it's really the first time where you've had that kind of a thing, because where else, besides maybe being a movie star or something like that, where else do you have that kind of support system and that kind of feedback from people? I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. This whole YouTube experiment has been an amazing thing.
Unless you're being a movie star. So that's kind of you trying to say that you would be the equivalent of a celebrity in some ways, yeah? Just saying.
So, you know, I could sit here and I could be a negative, you know, asshole, and I could swear and stamp my feet and say, oh, those motherfuckers and this and that. But bottom line is this. It's life. Things happen. And there's different kinds of people. There's those who are defeated. There's those that give up. There's those that throw tantrums and have fits. And there's those that get back up off the ground, brush themselves off, and try to figure out what the hell to do. And that's what I'm going to do. So fuck that. I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to try to figure shit out. It's that simple. So yeah. And again, I don't know if YouTube full-time is something that I'm definitely going to do. But if it is, I just gotta say, all you people on YouTube better fucking look out, because now you got someone who actually has time, you know, effort, talent, you know, and I'm gonna put it towards this, and if it works out, you're in trouble. You know, the days of fucking acting like a 5-year-old and editing your voice to sound like an annoying, high-pitched kid and going over the internet and somehow getting popularity, those days are over. Because talent...
Bam. Now, this goes back to that Pro Jared situation. This is what Phil's plan was from the beginning, was to swamp the system with as much content, and I use that term loosely, as he could to try to basically try to drown those other guys out and whatnot. The problem is that the number of uploads was too goddamn much, and it turned people off. He turned those people off and had them go over to watch those other guys because they didn't have nearly the body of work Phil did, but it was consistent, it was good, and it was getting better. And having maybe 2 or 3 videos a week from those individuals was a whole lot better than having shit, man. Let's see, having 120 videos, 150 videos over 5 days from Phil Burnell. That's how he fucked himself. Or at least that was the early stages. And he wasn't going to back off because by then he was getting paid by Machinima. They were overpaying him in those early years. He admitted that. That's something we're definitely going to go over. And he just couldn't, he couldn't stop. The money was too addictive. And in Phil's mind, if he lost a couple of people along the way, who gives a shit? Look at all the money that I'm making. Cash rules everything around me.
People are actually going to now start to use this medium and hopefully it will turn out to be something worthwhile rather than just a complete waste of time, which is what I've seen from a lot of these people. So that's that. I'm not going to go on too much longer, but obviously I got to get plugs in, especially now. And if you hate on me for trying to get plugs in when I get laid off, fuck you. Don't watch my videos. Go ahead and make a negative comment. I'll block you 10 ways from fucking Sunday. First of all, I have merchandise, as you can see, on Cafe Press. It's at www.cafepress.com/darksidephil. I actually just updated the site. If you remember the other shirt that I had, it was the logo with my face on it, which is on my Twitter page. Hold on, so you can see it. I actually have it on the bottom here. This logo.
Why didn't you put any of this on screen? You should have put this on the screen so people can actually see it. I'm sure he put the link of it in the description. Feels good for that, but I'm surprised he really just didn't have that on the screen, though. To be honest.
I contacted the fan who made this logo, and he blew it up for me, and I've now made a whole new line of t-shirts with the bigger logo. They look great. Way better than the old ones where it was way smaller. So go check that out. I do make a small amount of profit off of the stuff that I sell on Cafe Press. Very small, but I do make it. Donations, I do accept donations through PayPal. You go to paypal.com and send donations to darksidephil@hotmail.com. All that information is both on the DSP Gaming page. I think it's on the TKOHHD page. It's on the Dark Side Phil page. So please, again, if anyone wants to, I'm not begging, I'm not even asking, I'm just throwing it out there. If you want to contribute towards the cost of games, towards what I'm doing, and again, please, if you're going to donate, do it for that. Do it because you like what I do, you think I'm entertaining, and you want to see me keep doing it. Don't do it because of pity or anything like that. I am not by any means asking for that. Because
times have changed, but you know, donate to me because you like what I do and you want to see me keep doing this. That's also part of the current 2019 script.
Like I said, I'm the kind of person, I'm going to dust myself off, I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to figure shit out with my life. So you don't have to worry about me. You really don't. But obviously, especially with the holidays coming up and all the games coming out, anything that you can contribute will help. And if if I get enough donations and I have the time, which it looks like I'm going to have, I might be able to play more games than what I even announced over here. I mean, there were some days where there were 2 to 3 games coming out. Now I might be able to actually play them all rather than have to pick and choose between them. But we'll see what happens. I'm obviously going to be looking for a job as well, so it's not like I'm going to 100% be making videos. But yeah, and like I said, coming up, we'll be looking at maybe doing custom joysticks and things like that. Please continue to watch my videos. I wouldn't doubt if this video ends up being very highly viewed simply because of what happened. So let me give this a chance to just give a shout out to all of them, for the people who've helped me. You know, all the people, first of all, and I'm not going to be getting names because there's so many people that have helped me I can't even remember, and I apologize. But
now, let me jump in on that real fast. So, initially, I'm not going to do it now, but I was going to. Initially, I wanted to, when I was looking up this video, I had found a couple of videos of people responding to Phil getting laid off. And I had found one video, not that there was anything particularly special about it, it was just, I just wanted an example to show you guys of one of the individuals who was like, you know, hey, Phil got laid off, but, you know, he's going to be okay, so, and I'd like to contribute to you, but I couldn't, you know, because that guy had other shit going on, but I know you'll pick, you know, I believe in you, and this, that, and the third. I wanted to give you an example of that. I must have watched at least 2 or 3 videos of individuals doing it, and so you can see the amount of faith that these people had in Phil. The thing is now is, where are those individuals at today? And I assume that most of those people aren't around, because some of these guys seem like genuine individuals. They're not the type of individual spurgs that we see now. But I wasn't going to put that up there as an example. I decided not to, and maybe that's just. I think it was a good call on my part, to be honest with you. But if you look up DSP laid off, you'll see it. There's at least a handful of them there. But I decided to leave that out.
But people who've made backgrounds for me, people who've made custom songs for me, and Ghost Drone, I don't know where you went, man, but you know, a lot of people love your stuff and want you to come back, but the other people that have done it as well. My friends, my family, the people who, you know, I met through YouTube who've helped me out. And you know, some people who have actually become really special to me. This whole YouTube thing's been amazing. It's changed my life in a massive way. You know, this could have been a situation where I got laid off and I had absolutely nothing going for me, and I would end up being a depressed mess, and who knows what would have happened. But because of what's going on with YouTube, I have something going on, and that is something that, you know, a lot of people can't say. I am extremely grateful for that. I am extremely grateful for every view that I get on my videos.
And here's the interesting part. This is the part that I think we're going to find out in these videos moving forward, that you're going to find even more interesting, is that the person who used to be grateful for everything that he had, for the people who helped him, this, that, and the third, he no longer exists. He's dead. For all intents and purposes, he's dead. And what you have left is this guy right here, who's basically like, I'm entitled to this. He looks at his 10 plus years on YouTube and be like, I was the one that put in all the work. I'm the reason why you're all here. You guys owe me. When Phil back in 2019 or 2009 was like, if it wasn't for you guys, who knows what would have happened. He would have fell into his depression and then probably offed himself. He forgot where he came from. And this also tells me that he never had any plans of leaving YouTube. If he saw other people making money on it, his arrogance and his ego was like, I'm better than they are. I can do this. I know I can do this. And all he was looking for was the pretense. And he got it. Still, worst thing that ever happened to him, though.
I do want to kind of apologize to anyone who maybe, you know, sometimes I get angry, sometimes when I shoot from the hip and I'm honest, sometimes I overdo it. And so, you know, I might be reading a comment and someone leaves a negative comment, and sometimes it's really nasty. And let me just tell you, if you leave a really nasty comment on a video, you're getting blocked. I've said that 100 times. But sometimes there are people who just like might say not a really hateful remark, but something negative, and I take it the wrong way and I block them. So I apologize to those people. I hope you don't.
Also, he comes across to me as someone who has very low self-esteem, and how he's talking about negative comments and this, that, and the third, and blocking you, this, that, and the third. It shows you where his ego is. You can't, you in life can't let the negative outweigh, I guess, the positive that goes on in your life. And online is really no different. If that's the case, you shouldn't be on there. And this right here is a perfect example of it. This is a perfect example of somebody who wasn't built for this. And so when tools came up, don't get me wrong, if it's just blatant harassment, that's one thing. But he's talking about one-off negative comments. That's going to come with anything else. And you need that negativity, to be honest with you. And you need, well, negativity, criticism, definitely. Because criticism, yeah, you kind of need negativity too. Because negativity keeps you humble. And critique keeps you sharp. And that's just, it is what it is. Everybody handles it differently. It is what it is. I'm not here to tell you how to handle it. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. But, because it can, but at the same time though too, if you as an individual have a hard time with dealing with negativity in your life, in IRL, you're probably gonna have a really hard time with it online too. And so all that blocking and everything else, that all kind of culminated into what ended up coming up on him later. And remember, YouTube at this time was in its infancy. So he never maybe expected people to kind of hit back at him, but indeed they did. Because there was no code of ethics at that time. There was no established way of handling all that, or what would even cause something like that to happen. You kind of have to just deal with it as it comes along, basically.
Personally, because I don't mean it personally. It's just sometimes I get a temper and I fly off the hook, and that's what happens. Well, I am so grateful for everything that has been going on in my life for the past 2 years, and I hope everyone understands that, and I'm not going anywhere. Let's put it that way. I'm going to be alright. I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to put my head together with my friends. We're going to try to figure out what we can do. If maybe we can turn this into a full-time gig, that would be amazing. If not, well, this is just the next step in my life, and trying to find out what I'm going to do for the rest of it. Maybe I'm not cut out to sit in an office. I don't know. But that's what I've done for 5 years, and I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. So, that's it. I don't want to go on too long. But I wanted to definitely get this off my chest and talk a little bit about it. And we'll go from here. We'll see where life goes from here. So this is DSP. Stay positive. It's the only thing you can really do to get through life. And I hope that, I'm breaking up like a fucking pussy, but I hope that everyone understands, you know, that positivity is really the way that you can succeed. And if I had never taken a positive attitude towards anything, I never would have gotten anywhere in life. And that is really the only way to live your life. So, alright, this is DSP, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. Hello everyone, DSP here.
Okay. Alrighty there, Phil. Alrighty. Too bad he didn't actually take his own advice on that. But then again, like I said, you gotta kind of take what comes to you, and you gotta take you gotta work out the best of both situations, either which way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we go with that. That was Phil. Right after being laid off. I think there was a lot to kind of delve into, but I think all the points that need to be made, at least at this present moment, was made. And if you guys have anything to add to it, by all means. But I'm actually really glad that I found that, because it kind of it doesn't change my perspective. It kind of just reinforces it, to be honest with you. It really does. Like, if I don't know what people back then thought when they saw this, but I think it was fair to assume he wasn't going to look for another job. I'm not saying that he did or he didn't. He may have tried, but I think he saw the amount of money that other people could make, and that's what he was focused on. He's like, if they can make that amount of money, I can. So why do I have to go back to the 9-to-5 grind? Why do I have to go back to busting my ass and people just abusing me and then kicking me off to the curb, when I can stay here in my condo, wake up when I feel like waking up, playing as long as I want to play, you know what I'm saying? You know, basically being my own boss, running everything my own way. And that's what he was really wanting. He thinks he wanted the freedom to do what he wants, instead of thinking about more of financial independence. That's what it is to, well, I don't know if you'd call it financial independence to have your own business. It can be that, I suppose. But I think it was really more freedom. It's a child lashing out. That's what it really comes across to me. But it is what it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. This is DSP News 2nd edition, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Oh, that's it. I'll work on a slogan later. Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you later.
Put the music back on.